Hello and welcome to the Signmakers studio. I'm Lawrence from Greens to Signmakers, and this is where we talk about everything you want to know about the signage industry. This week, we're going to talk about illumination and see what you need to know, all the different options, and if you even bother about illuminating your sign. So what would some of the options be for some very basic non-illuminated signs?
Obviously, your flat printed panels, which not a fan of.
I know you like the more technical, creative side.
Yeah, I like the more creative.
It has its place.
Yeah,
it's very cost effective. With the print technology, you can be very striking, very creative artwork and get a good impact very cheaply over a large area. That's probably the main non-illuminated one.
Aluminium trays, I would say, or even ACM trays, folded composite panels.
Simple, slim folded trays. And then you're starting to hide the fixings on the returns rather than face fixings.
Yeah.
I suppose the real decision with illumination is getting that balance of cost versus impact. Because as soon as you go illumination, the cost of them is so much more to purchase. Got to think about your running costs. So, that's a real decision to make. What would you say some of the first entry-level illumination might be?
Entry-level, you're talking front lit maybe.
What we're using to light them up.
So like trough lights, for example. A long time ago, they used to obviously be tube bulbs, but now they're LED, so they're a lot more efficient.
Precisely. Much cheaper to run. Still, you're over £100 per linear metre to light. And that's just to get the thing. So it's not overly cheap. I do think people forget keeping it very basic. It's not always fits the building, but just a good spotlight. It can often, and they might spread the light wider, illuminate more. So people often forget about keeping it very simple. Next level, rather than illuminating the whole sign from the face, what about starting to put the illumination within the sign?
So within the sign, I'd say starting off, you've got your fret cut aluminium panels or ACM panels again. Can't really go that big up with those because it's not as
precisely
stable.
They're good for the shop front. Less than a metre deep. And you can join them up a bit longer. But with that, you would do letter only illumination. If the logo suits it well, you just illuminate the logo.
Mainly text or
logo, the smaller part. Again, there's different ways you can do that with better effects. The cheapest way is just to cut the letter out of the panel and back it up with an acrylic, which has a good effect. If it's a bit more of an intricate design, you can start to inlay to get a better effect and go thicker than the aluminium so it starts to stand out. So again,
adding more detail,
but more cost. So after fret cut, if you want to be a bit more technical, a bit more detailed, a bit more creative, what would you look to be proposing next if the customer wanted it?
So I think sticking with tray signs, panel signs, illuminated, I think to add more depth and detail, you would then maybe look towards adding built-up letter into the face, whether that's fully lit, face lit, or halo lit.
The options are endless, aren't they? So we do them in, and everybody does, in either built-up metal, built-up acrylic. After that, there's also embedded LED acrylic letters, which we do a lot
of that now.
We're actually pretty much working around the clock at the minute doing a big batch of those. But tell me about the embedded LED.
We do a lot of embedded LED letters for WH Smiths.
Benson's for beds. We're doing a few of those coming up as well.
For beds. They're milled out of a block, so they're very strong. Nothing's being bonded. It's one unit. We drop the LEDs in it. We create a back tray that's got a shouldered lip on the back. We can stand it off or we can fix it straight too.
And they're incredibly bright, aren't they?
Yeah, incredibly bright.
It's dazzlingly bright these days because the LED acrylic is a special acrylic. It's not just your standard off the shelf 050. I think it's got separate particles in it that will actually catch and shine the light. We'll have to get some supplier in to talk more about that.
Whatever the technical term is, it's made to distribute.
It's dazzling and it can be really bright. We've talked about letter illumination, whether that's from the back, the front, built up. What if you wanted the whole of your shop front, the whole sign above your door illuminated? What options have we got there?
Good solution for that's usually the dual case light boxes, acrylic faced, extruded frame. a backing sheet, like LEDs inside, and
fully flood it so we can illuminate it all.
Yeah.
People do feel, it's a bit of an older way of doing it. It was very popular 80s and 90s and things.
It was.
We did a lot of fluorescent tubes within them years ago. But they can actually, with a bit of creativity, use it as part of extra signage to create a good, more modern effect, can't you? If you start thinking outside the box. Any issues on size with that? Have we got to start thinking about joints? Because obviously acrylic only comes in certain sizes.
Yeah, so obviously you're going to see joints in the face if it's over 3 meters usually. So we're limited by sheet size. It's a great product still. I think, like you say, we saw a lot more in the 80s. I think it's something that flex faces took over. Became more cost effective to produce. We still do a lot of the acrylic faced light boxes, but we're seeing more so on like totem signs, tent signs, where it's a smaller scale. They still serve a great purpose. But
as I say, within a bigger signage zone, you might use the acrylic. So you've mentioned flexes. What's the advantage of a flex face over an acrylic panel?
Flex faces are great because, again, it's an extruded box, but the face is printed in one.
Basically a drum skin stretched over this frame.
I used to use the term trampoline when I first started learning about it, because they are a little bit like that. But yeah, so obviously we're not limited by sheet size when it comes to flex faces. We're limited by roll size. And
what's our rolls kind of standard we print to?
Well, we print 3.2 up to 5 meter wide.
What's the typical size you would do for a flex face? I suppose you could do a small store, or retail parks are very popular. What's the biggest ones you've done of late?
Oh God, I mean, I've done one at one point. I think it was 65 metres by 5.6 on the side of a building in Leeds. But that one, because of the size, obviously it was over the 5 metres. We had to print it in sections and weld
sonic
it
weld it together. So you can go over this over that 5 metres, but you do get a slight shadowing line, don't you? So with a flex, we've said you can flood the whole area. But you can actually, with the printing technology we have, do it in several different ways, can't you? So do you want to mention a bit of those?
Yeah, so obviously, again, it's a good way of going large scale with your signage, but then reducing the cost because you're only illuminating a smaller area. You still got all your background colours.
And we'd block that out when we with a layer of black ink where you don't want illuminated, such as this extra area, and then cover it with white ink before you print your actual image. The other option, if it is fully illuminated, you can do a colour enhanced night and day type thing, where we'd actually print the image twice. So a base layer of the image, again, flood it with white before you do a top layer of print of the image again. So during the day, when the sun's shining on it, you get your exact colours that meet all the customer specification. But at night, when the LEDs are right behind the skin and shining incredibly brightly, the light goes through 2 lots of the colours, so you get the correct colour both night and day. With illumination, there's obviously added costs to buy them and to run them. I know you did a good project last year on highlighting the different options. I know we had a more expensive LED at first, but actually in the long run, it was cheaper to run for the period.
So I think one of the things that I found last year was, when I'm looking into it, was there are LED products out there that are cheaper, but long term they will cost more on the running costs and consumption of the sign. Whereas if you can stretch that a little bit more to get the better LED, we can reduce the running costs of the sign that way.
So, and what sort of payback did you find that it was within? Was it 2 to 3 years? It was better to use the more expensive one?
2 to 3 years. There's also the fact that the less consumption of the sign, the less power supplies, the less chance of anything breaking down.
Precisely. So we've talked a lot about the external signage illumination and some options. And I think the big thing is just remembering to balance that impact required versus a budget. If you're in a shopping centre and it's well lit, if you've got a load of street lights around you, you might not bother. Understanding these options early can really help make better decisions. And reach out to your local sign maker. They will again help guide you through it. And if you want to see more options, do feel free to check out our website. We've got more information on there.